Did everybody get a graphing calculator that needed it?
I got my phone.
Wait, is the snapshot the right then?
Is the what?
Snapshot right. Did you change it? Did you change the assignment? Wait, go as far as
No, it's not. Okay, so I have to give you guys two different things today. One is a cheat sheet for this chapter. There's actually more than one, but this is for what we're doing.
Can I throw last try's stuff away?
It's up to you.
Cause I'm gonna do it.
That's what I did.
Do we need any?
No.
Guys, if you wanna read this, 17 missing assignments.
Oh.
Are you serious?
No worries, I got them all in.
They weren't missing, they were just like not turned in.
They were absent. They're absent. Hey, yo, correct.
So you have a choice. You can sit in your correct seat, or you can go sit in Mr. Austin's office.
Yo, Austin, you are dumb. It's all right. Let's just say we all know visit Mr. Austin.
Oh, let's pay him our monthly visit.
Yes.
Yo, he and the papers.
Hey, yo, sit on your buns, lady. Oh, shoot. Here, taking it on. You might be too. No, don't hand it back. You go.
Stop.
You complain. Yo, I see you pulling out the parking lot.
Why do you always see me? I'm living in this place. Wait, yesterday?
I was in my mom's car.
Not that white one?
I think I need to be moved. She's just such a bully.
This is all in what?
Were you?
Yeah. Wait, no. No. No, I've got Room's like the highest. Apparently, you gotta burn her so hot they actually put her on the machine. How does it? And
It's just
no.
I'm in the way back to parking lot.
Do you go just see Teresa?
That's what happened, right?
I just did.
Oh, is that what that new guy is?
Yeah,
Tony?
Nice morning.
I've never met
I
him.
think he's.
I might have been still sleeping a little bit, but.
Are you serious?
I think, but I haven't really found out.
Oh, I never knew that.
I didn't either.
What makes you think that?
They always talk about their mom.
Oh, that's just good.
So. I don't know. I was probably told at one point, but I don't.
You're not sure.
Hey, yo.
It's just small.
What do I do?
Keep it back. Or shut it off.
There. There we go. Okay, so we are going to finish. So you're gonna need to take out the notes from yesterday. We're gonna finish those, and then we're gonna do 2 pages of the new packet. Okay? Yes.
When are you guys getting them?
Next year. That's
Next
what I
year?
hear. Yes.
Oh,
You're getting new what?
they're getting the new smartphone. 85 inches.
Oh, and I grabbed the wrong.
I think 75 we're getting.
I gotta get my friend.
Bob,
Okay.
can I go get water?
Can you wait till we're done?
The water is pretty good.
Okay,
Smart.
so we are going to, get started here. The one thing I just want to point out to you guys is when you're doing exponential growth and decay, growth, of course, is going to start low and come high. Decay is going to start high and come low, okay? If you look, the exponential growth formula is 1 plus R, and the exponential decay is 1 minus R, okay? Other than that, like A is your initial amount, R is your rate as a decimal, 1 plus R is your growth factor here, the time period is T. This is exactly the same, except instead of 1 plus R, it's 1 minus R. So what happens is when you get down to your equation, your B, that's going to be to a power, this B in decay is going to be between 0 and 1. And in this one, your B is going to be greater than 1. Okay? So if we look at the rest of this chapter, what we're doing is a couple problems that are like kind of like word problems, but they're not hard. So if you're doing exponential growth, it says a new virus spreads through a school such that each minute 1.5% more students are infected. If the virus began at only 2 students, graph the function for the first hour. So we want to graph it for the first hour, and because they're doing it and saying each minute 1.5% more are infected, we want to go from 0 to 60 minutes. Okay, so if you notice on my graph here, this down here is going to be the number of minutes. So I'm going to give you graph paper today that has, it's going to look exactly like this. It's going to have a positive X and a positive Y, okay? And then this over here is going to be, you would kind of choose, but what I would do for this is when I do my table on my calculator, I'd go from 0 to 60 and I'd count by 5s, okay? Now, what A is where it starts, the original amount of students that are infected. And isn't that 2? So our little a is 2 students. R is your rate of infection, but as a decimal. If you have 1.5%, how many?
0.015.
You move it over 2 to the left. So like Caleb said, if we did that, it would be 0.015. That's our rate. And then T is our time, okay? And we don't really know that at this point. That's what's going to vary. So our equation is going to start at 2. It's going to be 1 plus 0.015 to the T. And then we're just going to add these together, and 1 plus 0.015 is 1.015 to T or X, okay? So now we're going to go to our graphing calculators and we're going to punch that in. So if we go to our y equals, make sure you clear if anything is there. And we're going to plug in 2 parentheses, 1.015 parentheses, up arrow x. Okay? And then we can hit graph and look at that right away, but we do not. This is right now, this is going from -10 to 10, counting by ones, and -10 to 10. We're talking here about number of students, so we're not worried about negative, okay? So what we're gonna do is we could go to our window and we could set our window up exactly how I have this set up, okay? Our X min is going to start at 0. So for X min, say 0. Our X max, where we have to go to, that's our minutes. We have to go to how many minutes? 60. And if you look how I set up the table, what did we count by? 5. So your X scale, that's how much you count by. okay? Then your Y min, that's going to be going up and down on the graph on your Y. Your Y min, we start at 0 again. Our Y max is 10, and we counted by ones. Okay? They skipped one, I skipped one on here, but we still counted by ones. So now if we look at the graph, you'll see a little bit more what ours should look like, okay? We also are going to use that table, and we're gonna set up our table. And we did this yesterday, if you remember. How you set up that table is you go second window. And we wanna start our table. This is our X's. We wanna start our table at 0. And what are we counting by in that table? 5. Okay, I never change these at all. I only say what I'm gonna start from and what I'm gonna count by. And then I want to look at that table. Do you guys remember how to do that? Then you go second graph to look at the table. So for these numbers that I'm gonna get here, I'm stealing them from this right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and just write those in. So at 0, we have 2. At 5, I'm rounding to the nearest hundredth. So 2.15, 10 is 2.32. 15 is 2.5. 20 is 2.69. 25 is 2.9. 30 is 3.12. 35 is 3.137. 40 is 3.63. 45 is 3.91. 50 is 4.21. 55 is 4.54. 60 is 4.89. Okay, now what I want to do is plot those on my graph here, okay? And what we want to do is label here what this is. This is going to be the number of students infected. Okay, so and this is in minutes, because they just want the first hour. So at 0 minutes, we have 2 students. At 5 minutes, which is halfway between 0 and 10, we go to 2.15. At 10 minutes, we're at 2.3. At 15 minutes, we're at 2.5. At 20 minutes, we're at 2.69. At 25, we're at 2.9. At 30, we are at 3.12. At 35, we're at 3.137. At 40, we're at 3.63. At 45, we're at 3.91. At 50, we are at 4.21. At 55, we're at 4.54. And at 60, we're at 4.89. So we only had to graph to 60 for the first hour. So for this one, I would be okay with you stopping at 60 and not completing the graph. I mean, if you wanted to, you could kind of judge what you want it to be, but we really only were asked to graph for the first minute, or the first hour, sorry. Everybody understand that? Okay. So now if you look at this one, this is an exponential decay problem. And like I was saying earlier, the only difference is instead of adding the rate as a decimal, we're subtracting the rate as a decimal, okay? So if we look here, it says a cup of coffee contains 35 milligrams of caffeine. The average teen can eliminate approximately 12.5% of the caffeine from their system per hour, okay? A is going to be the original amount of caffeine in a cup of coffee, which is 35. R is your percentage as a decimal, which is 0.125. Do you all understand that? Why it's 0.125? And then T is a variable that we're going to have, okay? So our equation is going to be 35 times 1 minus 0.125 to the T, okay? Now, when you go 1 minus 0.125, that is 0.875 to X or T. Okay, so now what I want to do is go to my graphing calculator. If you notice what we're doing along the bottom, T is going to be hours. So this is going to be the number of hours. Okay. Because it says how much they're eliminating the 12.5% of the caffeine per hour. So that's why we're going by hour. And then this is how much caffeine is left. Okay. So along the bottom is the number of hours. That is how much caffeine. So now we're going to go to our graphing calculator and we are going to go to y equals, and we're going to clear what we have, and we are going to type in 35 parenthesis 0.875 parenthesis up arrow x. And you could hit graph and see what that looks like, okay? This one's decay, so it should be going down from left to right. And then if I want to set up my graph the way that I set up the graph, our x min is still going to be 0. Our x max is going to be 40. And I am counting by fours. Then my y min is 0. My y max is also 40. And I counted that one by 2. Okay, so that's what our graph should end up looking like. And then the last thing I would do is go and get your table. So we can go second window. We want to start our table at 0. And the only difference is this time we want to count by 4 instead of 5. So if I go second table, I can get all those values, okay? So let's go to here and write in all those values. So at 0, we get 35. At 4, it's 20.52. At 8, it's 12.03. At 12, it's 7.05. At 16, it's 4.13. At 20, it's 2.42. At 24, it's 1.42. At 28, it's 0.83. At 32, it's 0.49. At 36, it's 0.29. And at 40, it's 0.17. Okay, so now we're going to come over here and we're going to plot those points. So at 0, we're way up at 35. At 4, we're up at 20.5. At 8, we're going to be at 12.03, so just a little bit above 12. At 12, we're at 7.05, so just really right at 7. At 16, we're at 4.13. At 20, we're at 2.4. At 24, we're at 1.4. At 28, we're at 0.83. At 32, we're at a half. And you got to think about that's really 2. At 36, it's at 0.29, so that's pretty close to it. And at 40, it's at 0.17. So that would be your graph, and it really keeps going closer and closer to 0. Okay. All right. So this says, you can ignore this assignment. This is not correct. I was supposed to delete that. It says estimate the caffeine, the amount of caffeine in a teenager's body 3 hours after drinking a cup of black coffee. So T in this is in hours. So all we would have to do here is we would just figure out what's 35 times 0.875 to the third power. So if you went to your calculator, you'd want to get out of this, out of your graphing mode, and just go 35 parenthesis 0.875 parenthesis. What's that?
We're just learning
Yeah.
our calculator because we couldn't get out of that yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you do second quit to get out of it.
Or just graph.
Oh, quit.
Yeah. And then you go up arrow, 3, enter. Another thing, I'm not sure if you can just, clear doesn't work. Yeah, if you're in this and you want to get out of it, go second quit, and it'll get you back to that. Okay? All right. So when we were out of this, we got 23.45. So after 3 hours, you go from 35 milligrams of coffee in your body to 23.45 milligrams. Okay? Then if we look at this question, it says your grandfather would like to invest in his company, would like you to invest in his company. He guarantees that if you invest in the stock of his company, you will earn 15%. Okay, so our rate would be, do you get 0.15 if it's 15% every year? If you invest $100, that's our A, that's your beginning amount. How much money will you have after 20 years? So T is in years here. So A is 100, R is 0.15, T is the number of years, which we don't know at this point. Oh, we do. 20. After 20 years. Okay. So then it would be 100 parenthesis 1.15 to the 20th power. Okay. So if we go back to our calculator, it's 100 times 1. Was it 1.5? Did I do the 1+?
Yeah.
Did I do that? Okay. Up arrow 20. So did you get $1,636.65?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So we are going to get here for our answer. That is not what I got the first time. That's weird. Is this what you guys got?
Yeah.
Oh, I put in 15 years. I don't know why I did that. Okay, so this is going to be, what was it again?
1,636.52 cents or something. 65.
65, thank you. All right. So for your assignment, there's going to be 2 parts. Should we start the next section?
No, we're gonna do it all tomorrow.
Yeah, I say we, yeah.
We're the advanced class, we
We
need to.
should do more.
No, no, we're the advanced
We're-
class, so
we're already
we
ahead.
should be ahead already.
Um,
Yeah. Sounds like we should.
Okay, then I have to change this assignment a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
Shorter?
So there's three questions that have, you're gonna need 2 different types of graph paper. I'll get it for you in a second. We are going to do, okay, I'm gonna add a couple to this, you guys. No, I'm not taking away.
We did do the part you said.
No, this is stuff you know how to do.
And she thought that I finished the test in like 25 seconds, and she called me and told me I cheated. And then we refaked it, and I got the same score. And now we're gonna see it. Lights, camera, action. No, it's dark, it's straight garbage. I know, it's garbage.
Screwed my whole face.
Yeah, I was number 1 in the league. Until my top 2 running backs got hurt.
Okay, that is
Hold
on. 20.
Light me up, though.
I'm gonna move 20 to the end. I don't know why I put it there. So this is your assignment. Do any of you have contact info for the girl that just left?
Who just left? Abby.
Do you want to let her know that we only
started.
did the 1 section and that this is the new assignment? Okay. Yes. Yes. So, you guys are gonna need 2 different kinds of graph paper. Do you want to give everybody 1 sheet of this?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Ah.
hopefully there's so I'll write here.
I wish I could move, Bob.
Really, I had no idea.
I genuinely do.
God dang it. Oh, he's so bad, thank you.
Oh.
Alright, come on.
Alright.
What does it say?
Hey, 77.
Here you go.
Why you?
We don't need,
Sure.
oh, this guy.
There you go.
Okay,
Where do you
So-
want these? big old pile.
I'll take it. So up here, it tells you which ones to use the regular graph paper for and which ones to use. No, because it only has positive X and Y. No. Matt, what if you just went through a whole day without you asking like something that you know I'm gonna say no to? What about that?
Yeah, make your word for
Huh?
it. Make your word for it.
Huh?
Why can't you?
Because we have to use the whole, wait, what? I didn't even get it. Fun.
Because this is
That's
Google graph it is.
We have an extra page small one, so you don't have to.
No, that one is a positive number.
Yeah, but then you could put like.
Peter, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's by your
That's what
door.
I said.
Which one is the regular one?
The X and Y all the way.
Why are we already on page 380? Nathan.
Because you guys cruised in the first half.
Nah, man.
What?
Yeah.
There's something in the window.
Letting that out there.
Why doesn't it work?
Yeah,
The number 4 right there. Is that for me?
I know.
I think
You
so.
know what? Andrew?
Yes.
And then all goes
Peter,
down.
guess what?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, come here.